Here we are at Crackle and Pop Studio. I'm Johnny Sangster. Chris Young, all the way from Vancouver, came down, big trek, to show us some Union Transistor pedals.
Union Tube and Transistor.
Union Tube and Transistor. There's no tubes in there.
No, these are solid state. But one day we want to do tube gear, so we have to reference it.
That's right.
Let people know.
You told me that you're working on a tube amplifier.
Yep, and maybe a tube DI.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And also that you're like looking into doing recording gear.
Yeah, the tube DI and a guitar splitter.
Yeah.
Are the two big ones that we got coming down. Hopefully, maybe the splitter before the end of the year and tube DI next year.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's exactly what people like me are looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hopefully things like this as well.
Yeah. Definitely. So, you want to describe what this is?
Sure. We talked about. I think I just approached my partner Kirk and just said, "What, do you have any ideas in the world of compressors?" And he said, "Yeah, I do." And talked about how much he really liked LA2s, LA3s, LA4s.
Yeah.
And said, if we could do that in a compact format, that would be really cool.
Right.
And not knowing what was involved in that process, I said, "Yeah, that's fantastic. Let's do that."
Yeah.
And then 2.5 years later, finally seeing the light of day after much struggles. The big one, as we discussed on the podcast, being that making our own optocouplers and sourcing those.
And then fitting it into a box that size must be really hard. I'm actually curious to look inside
pop it
there.
Up,
Yeah.
Take a look inside there.
Yeah.
This is staying in our format, but doing something that's maybe people wouldn't normally see in a guitar pedal.
Right. Yeah. People do it in the studio all the time, where you're recording direct in and compressor to make it simulate an amplifier of some kind, clean. Yeah.
So, what else? I don't know what else.
Yeah.
What did you think? You got to try it?
Yeah, I've tried it a little bit. I spent the most of the time just tuning this 12 string. Close, not bad. So I'm playing through a super clean amp here as well, so it's kind of like going direct in. Which we could have done. I guess the first thing I noticed is just how smooth it lets go of a decay. So if you just play a chord, you can hear it kicking in there. But a lot of the artifacts that you hear on pedal compressors is that stepped, you can hear it letting go step by step, and this just seems to have a nice real, you can hear it coming up, the sustain goes on, but it's not pumping at all.
Yeah. So no click on the initial note, hopefully.
Well, when I was playing the bass, you were asking about the click, and did you think that was coming from the compressor itself?
No, I think that was from the bass.
Yeah.
I think it was just amplifying.
Yeah, it's just the And part of that is how fast the attack is as well.
Yep.
Because usually the click gets by the compressor, and then when the note hits, it squashes it down.
Yep. But like in country stuff, you hear that sort of chicken picking.
Right, yeah. So you can hear that a little with this. But it doesn't seem extreme. It's not like the attacks pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Again, there's clean.
My test riff now has been the waiting is the hardest part. It's just been I can't.
Yeah. How often do you play one of these Rickenbackers?
No, I don't own a Rickenbacker.
Like, the neck's so skinny.
Yeah.
I need to trim my nails.
I got the big sausage hands.
I'm gonna plug in the bass for a second too, because it's very nice on the bass. So the other thing that you were saying, let me get back here.
Man down.
There's no damage done. The other thing we were talking about is just being able to interface something this like this with your recording gear.
Yeah, so we've got a few people already doing that with a step up, step down box, and actually using it on drums and vocals.
Right.
Which is...
Yeah. Have you, I mean, you must have, when you were working on it, compared it to a real LA3 in that setting, like in...
we had an LA2 that we borrowed for a while.
Yeah.
From Garth Richardson.
Yeah.
And I think we just we were looking at that, and he knew them pretty well. Kirk knew them, so
yeah.
I was like, how can we get as close to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for me to tell in this setting, although I could, since I do have an LA2 here, you could, with the step up, step down, plug in a source and go back and forth and see what it sounds like,
Excellent idea.
There's off. There's on again. Yeah, the release is really great. It's just so... That's the amp making noise there. That's the real tubes making noise. Yeah, and again, it's the pick that's making that clicking, but it's a really good response for a guitar or bass. Okay, so you can leave it here so I can compare it with my LA2?
Sure. Make it a long-term loaner.
Right on.
Thanks.
Yeah.